Hey guys, I'm Jeff Hootselle. Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk. Tech Talk is a show where we interview the best and brightest from technology from around the country to hear their stories, get educated, and get inspired by some of the things they're doing in technology today. So today our guest is Mike Helinsky with One-to-One Financial Credit Union. Mike is the Vice President of Information Services. Mike is a 20-year veteran from the industry. He's done some amazing things in his career that we can't wait to hear all about. And he's really made a reputation for himself of having the skill set to bridge the gap between IT and the business operations. So, Mike, thanks for joining the show today.
You're welcome.
So, Mike, tell us a little about One-to-One Financial Credit Union.
Sure. Well, we are a hometown credit union here based in Jacksonville. We've been around since about 1935. Started in the telecom industry. They basically started the credit union, and we've just continued to grow from there.
Oh, that's great. So, I mentioned in your bio kind of at the beginning, your skill set, and I know you have a passion for technology, obviously, but you also developed that skill set of really taking the technology and matching that with business operations to really drive some results. So what does that really mean? I mean, to the viewer, what does that mean to them? How does that in practicality look like?
So, you know, today you really don't have the luxury of doing IT to do IT. So really, IT is there to serve the business. So where I think I've excelled in my career is when I come into an organization, I want to learn about what we do, what the organization does to make money, what the organization does to serve the community, to serve its members in our case, and then use my technology experience to go out and say, okay, well, you do this today. Well, what if you did this a little bit differently using technology to enable a better process, but not just do technology to do technology.
Yeah. So I know One-to-One, you guys are obviously passionate about your users, your customers. So there's a lot of hype around customer experience, is the new acronym CX. So when you think about that in the terms of the credit union, what does that really mean? What kind of things are you guys doing from a customer experience standpoint?
So really for us, it's twofold. First off, we have obviously our members come into our branches throughout the city. So we want to make that experience as frictionless or easy as possible. But then also approximately 70% of our transactions today are done via our mobile app. Wow. So we want to make sure that that mobile app is easy. I mean, you think about Amazon and you think about those things that mold our view of how we do online transactions. We try to mirror that in our organization as well. There's work to be done there, and we're doing that every day, but that's really what we try to do.
Yeah, and I know we had a conversation at an event earlier this week and talked a little about kind of the future of technology and where things are going, and we kind of phrased that in like, what do you think will be the most impactful thing in the next 5 years in technology? And you kind of laughed about that. I mean,
yes. 5 years is so far out there. I mean, I think those technologies are not even invented yet. But when I think about 2 years, 18 months, that's kind of where I have that sweet spot where I start to think about. And for us, conversational banking, if you want to talk to your home device to say, what's my balance in my checking account, or transfer this money from here to here, those kind of things I think we're looking at, and those are things that our members are not really asking for yet, but they don't know that they need it yet.
So if I can talk to my Alexa device in my living room and ask for my bank balances, or make a transfer, like that. Yeah.
Right. It's great until your kids decide to transfer money to your own account. So there's security around that. Obviously, we're security conscious around all of that. So it's going to take some time to really think through those processes and make those bulletproof, but that's kind of things that we're looking at.
Yeah. So you said the rise of the mobile technology, you're seeing 70% engagement on that.
Right.
Do you see that in the future of that model changing from banking? Do the branches become smaller? Does it more of it come online? Is it still going to be that mix of services? What does that look like?
It's generational, I think.
Yeah.
I think that our parents' generation, they still want to go and they want to talk to their banker, and we have a lot of members that do that, and we love that. But I think as the generations age out and you get to our kids' generation and even our generation as well, we start to get that digital native, and that digital native wants to do everything on their phone. Yeah. So I think you'll continue to see that progression over time. I don't think the branch will ever die. I just think that it may not be as relevant as it is today in 3 years or 2 years.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, 5 years, who knows what it's going to be like.
Right.
Things are just changing so rapidly right now. I mean, there's probably never been a better time to be in technology, just from the host of different things you can talk about, from cybersecurity to AI to different things. What made you get started in technology? Why this?
I've always had an affinity for it. When I was in high school, I was taking computers apart and really enjoyed doing that. And then I went into the military and did a lot with electronics and computers. So it was really a natural progression for me, and it just came easy. But I always knew that technology is great, and I like the next shiny thing. I mean, it's just kind of inherent to who I am. Yeah. But then as I got further along into my career, and then budgets change and tighten up, you're like, okay, well, we really have to have an ROI for this. So you really have to understand the business and understand what ROI even means to be able to be at the table to help the business. And that's really what we're trying to do.
Yeah. So you mentioned your passion, obviously, for technology. You've got a pretty great track record, kind of an established career at this point. You're starting to get in that mentor stage of your career. When you think about that, if you were talking to kind of a smart, driven, young IT professional that's just starting out, like what advice would you have for somebody just getting started in technology? So
I think if they have no experience, the best advice that I would give is to find a nonprofit that you're passionate about and partner with them and say, look, I'm in the technology track at a school, or I have an affinity for this. Can I help you with that? Can I learn more from you? And I have not met a nonprofit yet that wouldn't say yes to that. Yeah. So that'll build up your experience a little bit. But I think after that, I would start to find a mentor. I'd find someone that's involved in the community that you live in, especially in Jacksonville. We have such a small, tight community of senior leaders. Again, in that area, I've never met someone that wouldn't say no to somebody that wants to learn and wants to grow, because we were all there at one point.
Sure.
So those two things are probably the best thing that I could recommend for somebody just coming into the industry. Now,
you mentioned nonprofits. I know we've known each other for a while now. I know you're passionate about a lot more than just technology. So beyond that world, what else are you focused on today? What are the things you're passionate about besides just the technology space?
Wow, that's a great question. Veterans, so we're working with, and actually we have one in-house right now. Being that I'm a veteran, we have a lot of interaction with trying to bring veterans and help them transition into the workforce. So we actually have one in-house right now where the Navy has a program where their last 6 months of their enlistment, they can actually go out and intern, and the Navy pays for that. So we have one in-house she's 22, brand new, doesn't know anything about business and things like that. So we're kind of helping her with that transition. So that's something that I'm really passionate about. But really, even outside of technology, one of my daughters, who's a sophomore at UNF, is very big into Best Buddies, and that's something that I really, really love, and I love that heart of giving back.
Sure.
So it's amazing to watch that kind of thing. So those kind of things I think are really exciting, and as I get older, it's just something that it becomes more and more of a part of my life.
Yeah, Best Buddies is a great organization. I know we do a lot with those guys as well at Auditmacs. So that's definitely a worthy cause, and definitely thank you for your service. We appreciate that as well. Problem. So where can people find you? Obviously, if folks want to talk to you and learn more and find more about one-to-one, or talk to you personally, where's the best place to reach out to you?
Sure. LinkedIn's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. I look at that every day. It's kind of hard to get through the voicemail email chain, because there's so many people that reach out all the time. So I would say probably LinkedIn is probably the easiest way.
That's great. I think we're all hoping that voicemail dies down at some point. We talked to a guy at an event the other day who said he got rid of his voicemail years ago, and it's been the best decision he's ever made.
I have vacillated back and forth. Sometimes I have it, but I don't check it as much as I can, because 90% of it is nothing other than just cold call sales.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, Mike, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Great to have you on the show, and thanks for your stories.
It's great to be here.
For the crew, and thank you guys. Thanks for joining us today, and tuning in and learn a little bit. We look forward to talking to you next time.